Now the problem with this is once you once you change your sex-based rights from being based on biological sex over gender identity, it essentially negates them. There's no point in having them, you know, like the reason most of them exist is so that women have a safe space away from penis bearers, otherwise known as men, or that we have a fair chance in with them, or that we have our own sports, etc., because there's just no way that generally we're ever going to be able to compete athletically at the same level as your average male. We're built differently, you know. So the ways in which self-ID are going to negate this are, in terms of sports, Hannah Mulsey. Have a look at Hannah Mulsey from the AFL. This dude's 6'3". He's got his penis intact. He's already in his career shattered a chick's like knee bone, and yet he wanted to play for like national AFL and the women's leagues. The dude's still got his dick. He's fucking 6'3". He towers over them. How the fuck is that fair? It's not. Now he's withdrawn, and so he fucking should have, the cheating piece of shit. But anyway, what it highlights is that if you allow people to self-ID, like men to self-ID as women, then they can have access to all of our spaces, our sports, our, you know, our, like all women shortlists in the UK, like they can do that. So there's no point in fucking having them, you know, because don't tell me that people aren't going to take advantage of this. They already have, you know, they've already started to. So that's one thing. My major one personally is because I got into feminism, etc., because, you know, as a result of experiencing domestic violence firsthand, you know, what I wanted to do was get in there and battle it happening, you know, because it's absolutely pandemic in Australia and worldwide. You know, male violence against women is fucking ridiculous, man. Like, at least one woman in Australia this week is going to get murdered by an intimate partner from domestic violence, you know. That's happening every fucking week. Hang on, let's get in an ashtray. So now, the crime stats for this are reported based on biological sex. But when they've started bringing this self-ID in the UK... Oh, and by the way, with crime stats, like 98% of the perpetrators of domestic violence and sexual violence and violence against women and violence in general, 98% are perpetrated by male-bodied people, men. So what's happening now in the UK is these dudes they're identifying as women, and we've got evidence that proves that when they transition, it has no effect on their patterns of violence, etc. So if they're a sexual offender and they transition to being a woman, they're still going to be a sex offender. They're still going to commit offences at the same time. Nothing's going to change, except that now, even though they've got their dick, they're going to be able to access women's spaces that they couldn't have got into before. It's already been happening. There was a dude that was with a history of pedophilia and sexual assault, Karen White, in the UK, got put into a women and children's prison, so it was like a women and you know, their offspring sort of thing. So they gave this convicted pedophile and sexual assaulter access to not only vulnerable women who could not get away because they were all incarcerated together, but children as well, you know. And surprise, surprise, he rapes 4 fucking women before the big kerfuffle kicks up. And even then, these trans rights activists are still defending the fucker. You know, it was going to happen regardless. Doesn't matter, you know, if he was in there or not. Like, it made no difference. Fuck off, it made no difference. Now, how many fucking women have to be thrown under the fucking bus for people to start listening and, like, realising that this is a really, really bad movement? Anyway, the thing is, though, that these crimes are being reported and recorded on police crime statistics as being female crimes. They're not. It's going to throw the female and it's going to throw the crime stats way out of whack. And then how can we map something accurately? How can we map domestic violence accurately when the fucking statistics that we're basing it on aren't even accurate anymore? We can't, you know, like that's, and they don't. I don't know. It's just fucked, man. It's like that just shatters me, to be honest. Like, you know, they're already like trans rights activists have been targeting like rape refuges for refusing to hire male-bodied people even if they identify as women, right? And so the trans rights activists have been targeting them and getting them closed down for being transphobic. No, mate. What you don't understand is it doesn't give a fuck what you identify as. If the woman's better than she's been multiply fucking raped, she's going to see anyone with a male body, any penis bearer, as a threat. And she, you know, a lot of women will suffer PTSD. You know, why is your fucking need for validation more important than this fucking victim's need for safety and security and healing? It's not.